TYTSports, Francis Maxwell here with Dave Collar, about to talk a little bit of tennis with Wimbledon so fast approaching. The first game's on Monday, right?
I believe so, and the seedings are out already.
Yeah, so we're going to start on the seedings. That's a good call. So, surprisingly, Nadal, number one ranked in the world, correct? He's not number one seeded in this competition. It's Djokovic, right?
Right. Nadal lost in the first round of the clay court tournament this past week or two, so that's probably what helped get him knocked down. Yeah, so then with that, I'm going to have to go on and talk about my fan favourite, as I want to go, obviously my countryman, Andy Murray, who is now going to be faced up against Djokovic, seeing as he gets to the semi-final. They two will come together. Wimbledon's one of these quirky tennis things where the number one seed plays the number 3 seed and the number 2 plays the number 4. Yeah. To American sports fans who are used to the NCAA college basketball tournament, that just totally blows our mind, but that's how they do it.
Yeah. So if wanting this seed and looking at and anticipating it, I think that based on Andy Murray's performance against Djokovic recently, they've only played once in 2014 in Miami. He lost. Djokovic rather comfortably won, and I was kind of wary about whether I wanted him to play Djokovic or not. But then when you look back, they have a 12-8. So they've played 20 times. Djokovic has won 12 and Andy Murray's won 8. They've played twice on grass, and Andy Murray has won both games.
This year, however, Andy Murray's done absolutely nothing, and so that counts for something too. Yeah. But there's a lot of questions on all these top guys. Djokovic at the French Open, he made the finals with Nadal, and we didn't do a video on it here, unfortunately. But he kind of quit. He just mentally broke. Yeah. So you're worried about him. Nadal has a tweaky back. Yeah. You worry about him. Maybe Federer does emerge at his best tournament, his best surface. Yeah. And he doesn't have any issues except that he's old. Yeah. Well,
with Federer as well, based on the last tournament, it was a tournament of upsets, right? They had Nadal and Federer both went out.
Right,
I think in the first
Wimbledon,
in Wimbledon, Federer and Nadal both went out. Sharapova went out as well early in the women's to talk about, and so did Serena Williams. So that's what I love about Wimbledon. It's so unpredictable at times, based on the draw. Andy Murray has actually got, well, they're calling it a warm-up game. I don't like to say that about anyone else. I think he's playing against a player ranked 114th in the world, so but as again in Wimbledon, like these seedings, how much do you think these seedings are like in comparison to the actual quality of the players?
They're not too correlated very well. I don't think the seedings are that important at all. Yeah. What has been fun about tennis the past 5 years or so is the lack of predictability in the early rounds, because you knew you wanted to get the big guys matched up, the big 4 matched up in the semifinals, and we got it tournament after tournament after tournament, and it was great fun. There's a lot of open questions this year, but amazingly, Nadal, Djokovic, Federer, and Murray are the top 4 seeds. Yeah. So for whatever. The demise of the big 4 is, as Mark Twain would have said, is greatly overstated. Yeah. So there's obviously with this tournament, there's also in tennis, which I love, there's always these emerging players. I love personally watching tennis. I love to watch the big hitters and the players with the big serve. And there's a man coming in from Canada. I don't know how much you Americans. Yeah, is Raonic? Is that how you pronounce it? I don't know, because the name's obviously Eastern European.
Isn't it? Exactly. So Milos Raonic, who's got an unbelievable serve. He really hits the ball hard. And then there's also Grigor Dimitrov, who just won the Queens, which is like the warm-up to Wimbledon in the grass. So these two guys are going to be ones who can always put up a fight against the big 4, as you said, knowing Wimbledon being such a controversial tournament when it comes to these players.
John Isner, meanwhile, he's always seeded very highly in these Grand Slams and never performs. I don't know why they keep seeding him highly. He also has a big serve and he's tall, so he could go far in Wimbledon. He's seeded 10th. So could he make the quarterfinals? Sure, that would be. But I'm not expecting. Americans have given up for now on expecting tennis success. Yeah. The
thing with being Scottish and Andy Murray is that we relatively don't have a lot of success in sports, so we have to kind of count on the ones who matter. And Andy Murray is one who wins. But the funny thing is, in the English media, when Andy Murray loses, he's Scottish, but when he wins, he's British. So that's the funny thing. That's why we're all looking like, so where do we get the medium here? But things have changed. He's actually paired up with, Amelia Mauresmo.
Of course.
The coach. She's going to be she's now his new coach, and he's paired up with her. Some people are like, why is the women's coach teaching him? But his mum obviously was his coach for years, and she obviously a female, and she sculpted him into the player he is today. So it'll be interesting to see how those
sure will. That was set up as soon as the French Open ended, just for Wimbledon, so they're focused in on this. It's a very unusual thing to happen in men's tennis. So. Exactly.
But I mean, as we said, it's really exciting to get to talk about it. We're going to be covering a lot more tennis when it comes up to Wimbledon. It's a great tournament, and hopefully it'll we have more controversial games. I always love to see.
Sure. I want to go one note back to the French Open. I told everyone to pay attention to this American junior who had a great life story. His name was Francis Tiafoe. He was #1 ranked junior in the world. His parents came from Sierra Leone. One of his parents was highly placed there, a diplomat, but the other just was a refugee from a war-torn country. This guy, Francis Tiafoe's dad, worked as the tennis, groundsman at a club in Maryland, and any chance he got, his little 5-year-old kid would play tennis, and he got to be the #1 junior in the world, and then he got bounced in the first or second round at the French Open by an unseeded kid from Germany. So let's start over and let's see how he does at Wimbledon.
It'll be interesting to see. Thank you so much for tuning in. Dave, thank you for your input, and stay tuned for more Wimbledon
Yeah, and
news.
before we go, TYTSports fans, got to get these shirts from shoptyt.com. You can get one in any of your team colors. Yankees, Dodgers, Seattle,
What about
Miami.
Celtic? Can you get any green and white?
You can get Oakland A's, Green Bay Packers, Dallas Cowboys. No Celtics, though.
Oh, okay. Sounds good.